Hello! I'm Mac, at least for a day, and everything's going to be okay. I'm here on an extreme hot planet to talk about a feature that has been requested many times for Hello Games to add to No Man's Sky, and that is lava planets. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people request for them to add planets with lava. The closest thing we have are these hot planets that have kind of lava animated textures on the plants. But obviously that's not actual lava. It's just a plant that looks like it is made of lava. Now, first I'd like to discuss, why do we want lava planets? Obviously it's connected to the whole desire to have more variety in No Man's Sky. Lava planets would definitely add more variety because there'd be more types of planets. But a question is, what good would lava planets be? Sure, they would be a thing, but would they add any gameplay, or are they just going to be planets with oceans that you can't go into? So let's pretend that this was a lava planet, and it's kind of a good example because this almost looks like lava. It's red water. It probably would look a bit different. It probably would be opaque. You wouldn't be able to see plants underneath. It'd probably be like red and black, like lava looks. And when I went into the liquid, it would start to damage me with extreme heat instead of being water. And so what would that add to the game? It would actually, lava planets would actually be less useful than an ocean planet, because an ocean planet you can go into. They've added a lot of new assets to oceans, so there's creatures to discover, there's new types of underwater treasures to find. But a lava planet would just be a planet with an ocean that you can't go into because it would kill you. Obviously it would look cool, but it might be like some of the features they've added that just kind of loses its interest after a few hours of gameplay. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I do think it would be really cool if we had lava planets, but I just don't think it would add a lot to the game. So that's one thing that I'm asking, is what about lava planets would be useful for gameplay? Would it add something that we could do, or would it just be deadly oceans that we couldn't go into? And another thing is, why haven't Hello Games done lava planets yet? Because it would be a pretty easy thing to do. Like I said, they would just have to change the color and texture of water and make it deadly instead of possible to go into, so that you would die as soon as you went into it almost. So yeah, they could have just done that all along and we would already have lava planets. So the question is, why haven't they done it yet? One reason I think that they haven't done lava planets yet is it would be kind of unrealistic, especially on a lush planet. Like, if they made it so that a lush planet could have lava oceans, if you had palm trees right next to an ocean of lava, it wouldn't be very realistic. You would expect a whole bunch of lava being close to trees would cause those trees to burst into flame. And that leads into another feature that I would like to see added, which is fire. We don't have fire in the game. It would be really cool if we could have a dynamic fire system where trees and bushes could catch on fire and would burn until they turned into a charred black skeleton. Now, that would most likely require some big changes to the game engine, because currently we don't have anything that resembles fire other than ships exploding. Spaceships can explode, but it's not a kind of fire. It's basically just an animation. It's not fire that affects like plants. So I can destroy a plant, but the plant will just kind of jiggle a little bit and explode into chunks, but it never catches fire or anything like that. So obviously I don't know anything about programming physics engines, but I know it exists in some games. For example, a game I played, Far Cry 3, had a really cool part of the game where you got a flamethrower and you burnt up this like marijuana farm or whatever. And so that was like a really cool part of the game because you got to watch all these plants burn. And of course that whole game had the fire system where you could throw Molotov cocktails, and grass would catch on fire and that could harm you or your enemy and things like that. But like I said, that likely would be a game engine concern. I'm guessing No Man's Sky's game engine currently doesn't support a fire system like that, so they would need to program it in. Like, and since we have procedurally generated plants, it might not work well because since each plant is different, it would have to burn differently. Like, say this plant was on fire, and the fire would travel up the plant and slowly envelop the leaves, and those leaves would turn black. They could probably do that. They could probably do something like that where it would slowly catch fire and parts of it would turn black and everything. But that probably is very difficult to program and to add into the engine. So I don't know if they'll do that. But it would be really cool, and it would make lava planets more realistic, because it doesn't make sense that a big palm tree is a foot away from a lava ocean without bursting into flame. But then how would they handle it? Would they just make all the plants near the lava already be black and charred? Or would they make it so that when you got close to the lava beach, any trees in your vicinity would burst into flame and you would get to watch them burn? That's kind of a tough question, because that's really unrealistic, because I mean, the trees should have already burned a long time ago, or the trees shouldn't even be able to exist near the ocean. It doesn't make sense that they would just burst into flame when you got near them. So it would make a lot more sense if they add lava oceans, we would just have a really charred landscape close to the ocean. Now the question is, could there still be lava oceans on a lush planet as long as the plants were far inland, far away from the ocean, far away from the fire? It still would seem kind of unrealistic, because if all of the oceans are lava, why would there be rain, and how would the plants get water? So more than likely, if they ever did add lava oceans, they would probably only make it possible on hot planets like this, maybe radioactive planets, and maybe like cactus planets, because they're already dry and hot. But I don't think they would have lava oceans be possible on lush planets, toxic planets, because toxic planets have mushrooms, and mushrooms need a very moist environment. So lava oceans on a toxic planet wouldn't make sense. And obviously cold planet wouldn't make any sense to have oceans of lava on a planet that's really cold and have snow and lava right next to each other. So that kind of limits, unless they just want to do crazy stuff like that, have lava near snow and near palm trees and stuff, they can do whatever they want. But do you see what I'm saying? There's definitely some design difficulties to adding lava planets. So it's one thing to ask for lava planets, but you've got to consider, how is that going to be possible? How is it going to seem realistic on different types of planets? So that's kind of my stance. I want lava planets, and I want there to be a lot more variety in the game. But that could be why they have not done it yet, because there are a lot of difficulties. Like, if they wanted to add fire to the game, that would be very difficult to add to the game engine. If they wanted to make lava planets seem realistic, they would have to put some kind of rules as to what planets can have lava and what can't. So my question is, how would you prefer them to add lava planets? Would you like them to try to make it realistic, or just have any kind of crazy mixture of lava on any planet? And would you like them to try to add fire? Because it would make sense for them to add lava planets and fire at the same time, because the two would kind of go hand in hand. And of course, people have mentioned volcanoes. That would probably be a much harder thing to add than just lava oceans, because you'd have to, like, I mean, we have mountains in the game, but they're procedurally generated, so they're basically just bumps on a sound wave. But to be able to make a mountain into a volcano, make it spew lava out the top of it, that would take a lot more than what procedural engine currently does. So I don't know how erupting volcanoes would be possible. But that would also be another part that people would like to see with lava planets. So I think I kind of see why we don't have lava planets yet, because it would be very difficult to make possible. But tell me your views and how you think they should go about it, because a lot of people ask for lava planets. So I would really like to know specifics of how people think it would work. And do you think that Hello Games will finally add lava planets? So yeah, comment your opinions on this issue, and I'm probably going to be doing more videos over the next week, because it is spring break this coming week. So I might start doing a speculation video every other day, like do a video and then 2 days later do the comments reading video. And yeah, all throughout spring break this coming week, and we'll see where we go from there. But for now, give me your comments on the whole lava planets, fire, and volcanoes issues. And I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day. And remember, everything is going to be okay.